Coriolis. It's a science fiction game created by Free League Publishing, and it has been called Arabian Nights in Space. But actually, one of the players commented earlier that it seems a little bit like Firefly, and Firefly inspired. You're flying through the stars as a free trader. So I guess it could be Traveler inspired. Anyway, it does use similar mechanics to the Year Zero engine that you might be familiar with Free League. So pools of dice, 6 is a success. It has a meta currency. That's why you see the skull here. It has a meta currency for the GM that is called darkness points. And when the players push a roll, that is, they call to the icons, which are the equivalent of the gods or extremely powerful entities in this game that the player characters pray to, then I accumulate darkness points and then can use them to increase the threat or have something weird happen during the adventure. But before we get into the adventure, I would like to introduce the stars of the show. And with me this morning are Amy.
Hello.
Please, yeah, please tell us who you're playing and
Doc.
who you're playing and then their sidekick, I guess, since there's 2 players, we have 5 player characters. One will be in the background, but I think we're gonna have a main and a sidekick.
Okay. I'm playing Dr. Armita Wana, and she is a scientist and a captain, but shall we say she let her curiosity get too much and got kicked out. And her sidekick is Roya. She's a former legionnaire. So she's a soldier.
All right. And with her this morning playing is Colin Green, who's also known as Spike Pit in the podcast verse.
Yeah, the podcast verse indeed. Yeah, and taking a break from the podcast verse and heading out into the Coriolis verse.
All right.
I'm playing Zebo, he seems like a fairly happy-go-lucky character. Perhaps someone that you wouldn't want to mess with. He seems quite competent. Former smuggler, but he doesn't like to dwell on that, seemingly. And his sidekick is our pilot for the evening, the totally necessary pilot for a spaceship game, I guess, called Nima, and he's a fighter pilot that was disgraced, and yeah, so he's a former fighter pilot. Seems like a little bit more of a mysterious character. We'll see. He's going to be my sidekick.
Great. So one mechanic we talked about a bit briefly about the mechanics in this game, and we looked at talents to make sure we don't have to stop and look up the rolls during play. But one thing we forgot to mention is buddies. So like on each of your character sheets, there's like a buddy that's marked there. And with the buddy, so like for example, for Dr. Wana, she feels that Nima is their buddy. And the buddy, I believe, like once per session, much like in Year Zero games, you get like a bonus dice when you want to do something that is going to impact your buddy. So
Both my characters, it's Nima.
for both your characters, it's Nima. Yeah.
Yeah, Nima's buddy is Roya.
That's cool. Okay.
And Zeba's buddy.
Yeah, but you get experience points, much like when they ask the questions.
Helping out your buddy, yeah.
Yeah, you get experience points if you sacrifice something for your buddy. I think that's I don't.
Can I change Armida to be Zebo?
I don't think they would get it. They get what is it? What does she say about Zebo?
Clearly a skilled engineer, but he can take your orders a bit lightly.
I don't know if they'd be buddies, but that might be a good idea though. So it can be pertinent.
Samoy is Zebo's buddy. Samoy.
Yeah.
That's okay. Nima is like really cherished over here by my side.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, so it looks like really, I mean, the buddy is there. I guess if you're directly trying to save or sacrifice or risk something for your buddy, if there's a skill to be rolled, then I would probably give a +2 dice bonus like once per session, but it really seems that it would be used for accumulating XP. But it could also affect role playing. So, are there any questions about any of the rules before we get going?
I'm just wondering what a graviton projector is. Is that like
Oh,
the
that's like
ship's
that's
engines?
ship propulsion. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, it's all about the graviton projector. That is
yeah,
his.
yeah. So it is nominally a like I said, a sci-fi setting. So there is this, I guess, space region called the Third Horizon in this game, and it's made up of a bunch of planets that can be accessed through these old jump gates, and you can't go anywhere else outside of the Third Horizon because these things I think are powered, or they don't the actual workings, they know how to operate them, but how they were created and the actual workings are a mystery. So that's kind of how that universe works. So it is kind of like a small region of space, much kind of like Firefly, actually, right? So and then usually the player characters will have a ship, and today they do, and the ship that they have today is called the Narzalis. It is a light freighter, a Scarab model light freighter, class 3, and we'll see. I don't know if we'll get into ship combat, but you never know what could happen. So,
Now, at this point, I'm going to have to take a major knock to my gamer cred and confess that I have not seen Firefly.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh. The shame, the shame.
So Firefly is kind of referred to sometimes as a Western in space.
Yeah, I've heard that. I like the sound of it. I think I would enjoy it. I
Mhm.
think I would enjoy it.
I'm sure there's a couple of role-playing games out there. Um,
Firefly inspired. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, if our listeners have seen Firefly, they should smash that like button and give us a thumbs up.
yeah,
Firefly
If
fans.
yeah,
if not, comment down below when you're going to watch the series and the movie.
yeah, Colin. All right.
Yeah, I need to
So,
do that. I need to bring up my list of priorities, clearly.
we don't need to get to the side of the action in this one shot. We are running the one shot from the quick start called Dark Flowers, as you can tell by the title here. And I'm going to start. It starts kind of already. You're already there. We don't have to travel there. So I'll read the sort of what's going on, and then we'll jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, really, I think one of the cool things I like about something that Colin had mentioned before we started is that yes, there are roles when there's something critical, but really it seems like more of a game, much like other free league games where you're like, this is what I want to do. How do I do it? And then sometimes you might not even have to roll, or these are the questions I want to ask or have answered, and then go from there, and then see if we need a roll. Well, sometimes we don't. So, all right. The bridge of the Narsalis is quiet, except for the steady hum of the ventilation system and the faint sound of the avionic sensors. Actually, and I can switch over to the Narsalis. And everyone is on the bridge here. Shift you there. And their stations. You have been traveling around through the depths of the Darbaran system for the last week. The interesting thing about the Darbaran system, the sun in the system is a red star, a red giant. So it's generally, you're always checking for radiation. Uh, the only one of the only living planets that can sustain life without augmentation is always hot and probably in a desert mainly. But anyway, so the red light of the sun is kind of pervasive in this system, just to give you guys like a mood reference. At first, this was just another mindless routine job, pick up, drop off. You've done this 100 times before, but then something happened. A blurry sign from a representative of the foundation contacted probably Dr. Wana, and gave an offer of a lucrative mission. If you found a missing ship, the Shamsa, who was carrying a professor from Dabaran, then you would be paid very well. The pay was actually too good to turn down, something like 10,000 bira, which is the currency, and the coordinates of the last known position of the ship were just a short detour from your route. So you took it. That was 2 days ago. Now suddenly, the ship's sensors have come to life. Samio says, "Oh, look at this," as the ship sensors come to life. And alerts and prompts warn you of something close by. It's not a ship, though. It's a station. And I'll show you what the station looks like as you come upon it.
Ooh.
Yep. And it seems to be rotating around the central axis there. So that dot in the middle, or that area in the middle, is rotating, I would say, counterclockwise. No, sorry, clockwise. It's rotating clockwise around that axis. So your first inclination is it probably still has some gravity and some power to it. So now I ask the question, what would you like to do? Or what orders would you like to give Dr. Wana as the captain of the ship to your crew?
Well, Juana's gonna go to the bridge and talk to Nima. And I'm assuming Zebo is there hanging out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose Zebo is just monitoring the systems, making sure everything's purring along nicely,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
And
Zebo is like the ship's engineer.
yeah, basically, isn't he? Yeah.
And I'm assuming she was probably looking over some paperwork and stuff with Roya in the back. So she's probably got Roya with her and suggesting, hey, we're not really doing anything. We can make some quick bucks if we go check out this ship, the Sharanza.
Yeah.
Because allegedly it wasn't working and then it came to life and, it might be kind of fun. We might die, but hey, we're not doing anything else. What do you think?
Well, you're also playing Roya, but you want me to answer for Roya says, whatever, you're the captain. It's fine.
Well, Roya, you're always up for a good fight since you've left the Legion,
Usually these things are derelict and there's nothing there.
Possibly, but there's always a chance.
You seem too eager to get into a fight, Dr. Wana.
I'm bored. I can only read that dissertation paper so many times before every line looks the same. How about you, Zebo?
I leave my I leave it to the fates. I leave it to the fates and the icons to decide. I'm happy to go along. I'm here to serve you all and keep the ship going.
There might be something fun on that ship that you could maybe procure for later use.
Well, yeah. There's likely to be some interesting technology on there for sure. I do not deny that I'm curious. I'm curious, but I'm happy to go with the flow.
Absolutely.
And what will be will be. The icons will see to this.
Right. So as Nemo kind of does a careful flyby and visual survey of the station. While it is rotating, there seems to be no power, and everything looks dark on the station. There are signs of damage, both from asteroids, but what looks like explosive damage to the back of the station's top side. So on the picture on the top right, where that number 4 is, that looks all damaged like by an explosion. So put that up again for people. Can you see? Did I put it up?
Yeah, is that what it's got a little bit of a jagged
That jagged area on the top right. So like I said, the station is rotating. So it's probably rotating. Yes, rotating clockwise around that axis from the top of the dome to the bottom. That would be like the vertical axis. And It seems like it's rotating on its own axis once every 2 minutes. There are 4 visible airlocks, and 2 seem to be covered with some sort of dark biomatter.
Hmm.
There you see the ship as the thing, as you kind of survey around it, docked to one of the airlocks. It's the Shamsa. It's powered down and also covered in this biomatter. So you could probably, someone could do a database search, or you could do a sensor sweep. Those are some options that are available.
I don't know if I have database sweep.
Well, if you want to just do a database search, you could just look on the ship's library, your ship's library. If you want to do a sensor sweep, that would entail someone making a data gen roll.
Oh, let me see.
Data general.
Yeah, data, DATA, then DJEJIN, data gen roll. I don't know. I think Zebu might have data gen, but it could be
I
wrong.
Just
do
looking at
not
that.
have data
Yes,
gen.
Zebu
Yeah.
has data gen.
Yeah, so perhaps he's sitting there looking over the console. He's already sort of thinking, "Oh, I wonder what that's all about." And he had a look at that damage, and he's looking at that bio matter on the hull, and
Yeah,
he's
so
thinking, you know, I wonder if there's been any info. What can I find out about this?
yeah, and Dr. Wana can access the ship's library, and kind of as you see the name of the station, which says Royal Dabaron in an older script, you can start looking up what that is. But so Samio is going to help you out, Zebo. So go
Okay.
ahead and give me a data gen roll with a +2. And I don't know if you have any talents that would affect that. I don't think
No,
so.
he's got gambler's talent, but I don't think we'll be using that. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a one time.
Yeah, it's like a once per session.
One session, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So additional modifiers 2.
Yep. What did we get?
Yeah.
Did we succeed? We succeeded. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. How many dice? I'm curious how many dice you rolled.
how many dice did I roll?
8 dice and you got 1 success. Crazy.
Is
Okay.
that right?
Yeah.
Well, for
8
our
dice.
viewers, you have to get a 6 to get a
Yes.
success.
Right. So he rolled 8d6. Because Zebu's
Oh, right, 'cause there's
Zebu's
a,
pretty
he's
smart.
quite
He's got
smart. He is
yeah, it's
pretty
pretty
smart.
smart.
Yeah, I suppose engineer and that.
For being on a Rosh addict, he's pretty smart. But maybe it just enhances his smarts, right? All right. So oh yeah, that's something kind of cool is all the characters have like a problem as well, and mainly for role-playing purposes. But if you if you were to run a campaign, if your problem gets in the way, or not gets in the way, but contributes to the story, let us say, during a session, then you would get an XP for that, for example. So anyway,
I missed that, Carl. Where? Oh, there he is.
yeah,
Oh,
problem.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I actually read these characters because I did their background and the little intro blurb that's in the background there. Anyway, the sensor sweep. So it just takes a few minutes, and as Zebu and Samio look over the sensors, you see the station is powered down, but the core is still functioning. So the engineering section is still functioning. There are weak signs of life in the biodome. That was that thing at the top. And there's active gravity on the station.
Ah. Well, I will report my findings.
Right. And you also see that
Gravity.
yeah. Also, you see the station is surrounded by a cloud of unidentified biomatter. It's your sensors tell you it's biological, but you don't know, it's not anything that is in the database.
Yeah.
That really excites Dr. Wana.
Yeah. So the name of the station, like I said, speaking of Dr. Wana, who's looking at the database, maybe sharing it through the consoles of everyone's, at everyone's station.
Mhm.
The name of the station is the Royal Darabon Institute for Astronomic Research, station number 18. Like you can see on the side, it says Royal Darabon -IARS -18. You can see it in the sort of an older script. It's an old station design too, built about 146 years ago. According to the sort of the wiki, the equivalent of the wiki page on the Royal Darabon station, it was reported lost with all hands 101 years ago during the last stages of the Portal Wars. So there is so those portals that go between worlds in this section of space, they were fought over, as would, right, for control. Right, that's what people do, unfortunately. And that was
And
about
it's
100
like
years
a
ago.
trade route, isn't it? I
Yeah,
suppose
they're like
it's
trade
a...
routes. You can control trade routes. You can control flow of people, right? So that's why
Yeah.
people would do. But now things have been peaceful for a while. And the station was part of a research program created by the last emir of Yehenna on Dabaran. There's nothing else known about the program, if it was successful or not. Or more than likely, it's been the information has been scrubbed if Dr. Owana were a conspiracy theorist.
She most certainly is.
Well, Dr. Warner, what do you think? Do you think this biomatter is some kind of the research gone a little haywire, do you think?
Possibly, but I have my lab, my portable lab with me, so I would love to take a little pod out there, grab some samples, maybe come back, run a couple tests, just to make sure that we suit up correctly.
Well, there's still power on the core on the ship still seems fully functional. There's some signs of life in the biodome, and the gravity is on.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, your goal is to find out what happened to the Samsa, which is, like I said, is
Which is
attached,
docked.
covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's
So
where you get your payday would come from, recovering or rescuing any people, finding out what happened to that ship. It looks like, I mean, the ship is like I said, covered entirely in the biomatter, and as you kind of look, you turn on your video feeds further, or turn up I guess the magnification on your video feeds, you see it's like they're like branches, and vines and growth. That's what it looks like, at least visually, even like covering that ship. Um, it is bizarre, and it's in vacuum too, right? And there's, like I said, there's a cloud of this stuff all over the place.
So, Doctor, if we get closer, we could try and get you a sample, and perhaps you could have a look at it before we proceed, or do you think that would be unnecessary?
Well, I think prudence would be to take the sample, but perhaps I can run the sample inside if there's, like you said, still gravity and electricity. So maybe we should suit up as if we're going to combat just in case.
I think that would be prudent. I will get some equipment together
And
and make preparations.
All right. So there's two ways you could attempt to do this. You could actually dock with the station, but Nima might be a little reluctant to do that with all that junk floating around. And it would be he could do it. It's a tight maneuver, but he could do it, dock with the station. Or you could maneuver what's easier for the pilot, but then people would have to spacewalk across via an attached cable. He could match vectors in rotation with the station, and then people go across in space. So I don't know how you want to approach this, Captain Dr. Wano.
well, if we dock, we can exit and then he can disengage and move to a safer distance. I just don't want whatever it is on this ship to get on ours. Because, Nima spends a lot of time keeping the ship, tip top and looking beautiful. And although he likes plants, he likes to pick them, not necessarily have them choose us. So, I mean, I'm open to a vote.
Yeah. What do you think? What does Nima think?
Nima is happy to make the. Well, yeah. So Nima. Oh, I think I'm sure I can get you in there, and like you say, I don't want to hang about. Perhaps drop you off, and then get to a safer spot, and then put a tether across, and keep an eye on that plant. Don't want that all over the ship, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. So if you're going to dock, this is a critical maneuver. So I need a pilot roll from Nima.
I'm assuming that we have comms within.
Yeah, the
Within our
exo,
party?
yeah, within your exosuits,
Okay.
exoshells.
Violet is here.
Yeah, I don't know if he has any talents for that. What's his?
Talents, 0G training, and the deck hands talent, which is that kind of keeping the ship going when it's banged up. But he's got a 3, and
Yeah, let me see if the 0G helps with that maneuver.
I was just
oh yeah,
looking to
because
see
it's
it.
agility rolls. This is an agility roll, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you just roll. I mean, you should roll pilot.
Yeah, but pilot comes under agility. That was all I was.
Yeah.
I've got 8 dice currently.
Well,
Well, hopefully with 8 we can at least get 1.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I can always
Generally, you only need
yeah
8 dice,
1.
right? Yeah, you only need 1, right? So,
Yeah. But I can just make the roll. I don't worry about the talents, unless you want to. For
oh,
the
you get a
sake
plus.
of,
Yeah, this is 0Gs. You get a +2 dex. You get a +2 to any dex space roll when in 0G. So I guess that's
okay.
when maneuvering. Probably not for this ship, but when maneuvering, in space or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So did it roll?
I don't see anything.
Mm-mm.
Yep, there's a prompt for extra dice. Remember?
Oh, I've got a cat issue.
Which is the extra 2, right?
No, he doesn't get any
No.
extra.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
You know what, Nima? I knew you could do it. You are the best pilot on this ship.
You're too kind. But that was easy.
All right.
Even if I do.
So, you hit the airlock pretty well, very smoothly. So now that you're docked onto the airlock, everyone's in their exoshells. So who's going to the ship?
Probably
Zebo.
Roya.
Zebo, Wana,
Roya.
and Roya.
Are we taking Samoya with us, or is he going to
Can he pilot? If can he be backup pilot, or is
um
Nima going to stay on the ship?
I think maybe we should leave Nima on the ship for now.
okay,
Okay.
and take Samoya, I guess.
Yeah.
What is he? He's an artist and a courtesan.
Yeah.
He can paint the flowers if they're there.
Yeah. So like here's the airlock up here on the ship. So you guys kind of travel down, which is interesting. It's right next to the med lab. And then near adjacent to one of the cargo holds.
To which number?
Oh, you're up here. I shifted you up.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's next to the med lab.
Okay.
See, you guys aren't in space, but this is the med lab right here.
Okay.
So like you go down the ladder, and then probably get into your exoshells here, and then move across on the airlock to the station. All right. Yeah, Samio. Let me see. What has he got?
He's an artist and a courtesan.
He's got good observation, some range combat. He's got data degen, so he can help. He's got culture, also good culture.
A lot of
So there's
culture.
history to be
He can
found.
manipulate.
So Sammy would probably
he's probably quite a good guy for looking around then, isn't he? And
Yeah.
sussing out what's going on.
Right.
So
And everyone's armed. I mean, Zebo has that big hammer.
He's got a cricket. That's a funny name. Short range only.
Yeah, it's a small pistol. Roya's got the big gun, right? So, and Zebo's got the big hammer, right?
The power sledge.
Yeah, cool. Yes, like a space marine or something, right? That's crazy. All right, all right. So,
Well, if we're all suited up and everything, I think Roya would say, if you don't mind, Dr. Wana, I think I should go first.
yeah,
You know, I was the Legionnaire. I got to protect everybody, and I need to bring us back to this ship alive.
right. So, it looks like the airlock has to be manually opened. Once you cycle through yours and you move across the airlock into the station, it needs to be manually opened, but it just takes a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And once you enter the airlock and close the outer hatch behind you, oh, by the way, we're already into Act 2.
Right.
Uh, so you close the outer hatch behind you, and you hear the hiss and the cycle behind you to secure your ship. The beams from your suits cut through the darkness inside. Dust. It seems like dust initially, but actually it's not dust. It's like dark particles, kind of
Oh.
a haze in the air. There's old symbols on the door to the station. There's a helmet resting on the floor, and the only sound you hear is your own breathing. So,
Yeah. We don't want to be breathing that stuff, I don't think.
yeah, as you enter the airlock, you see that the cycling chamber contains fragments of the plant-like biomatter that you observed on the outside of the station. Otherwise, it looks normal, though long unused, and the airlock is an old design. There's large blast doors, panels with instructions written in old Dar, and like I said, that helmet just lying on the floor. The panels on your suits indicate that there's oxygen on the station, and there's a lot of oxygen, maybe a bit. So these plants, I guess, whatever these biomatter is, they act like plants and throw oxygen into the atmosphere because there's a higher oxygen than one would normally have.
Mm-hmm.
I guess which makes for a potentially flammable situation. After cycling your airlock, actually your exosuits give you an all clear because there's enough oxygen on here. It doesn't detect these biomatter as anything hazardous.
Well, Dr. Wan is still going to suggest that we not take our helmets off for just a little bit more.
Yeah. I agree. Zebo's nodding. Yes, yeah.
And look at this, we can switch over to the station. So I guess you're coming in through this airlock here. Or potentially the other airlock is, let me see where the other airlock
Well,
is.
Dr. Wana wanted to pick up that helmet and check it out to see if it looks like it was pulled off. Was it cracked, faulty?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple airlocks you can go in through. There's an airlock here, and then there's an airlock. I switched you over, right?
Yeah.
Can you see my ping?
No.
No.
No, because I'm on the wrong layer. All right.
It's okay.
Sure.
Oh,
take
yeah.
it. Yeah. Now you can see it. I'll take a drink.
Yeah.
All right. So there's an airlock here, and there's an airlock here. So this airlock looks like, based on the Dr. Wana's rough plans of the station, old blueprints that she found on the database. Engineering is like right here. Engineering section is here. And of course, this was once the living quarters. There's a med lab near this airlock, the biodome, of course, that you can see visibly. And then here is supposed to be a laboratory section. So again, the airlocks are here.
And where did we think there could potentially be life?
Up here in the biodome.
Up in the biodome.
Then I'm thinking we should come in at this airlock. What is your opinion on that, Zebo?
I'm happy to go with whatever you think. I mean, if you want us to get the power on, we might want to be closer to engineering. Whether we need the power, it does seem to me that we need we need to perhaps get to the bottom of this plant life, and I suspect the origin, and that's going to be the biodome, and then the lab is up here as well. So yes, I concur. I think this is the best place, perhaps. Airlock 2.
Yeah. So
I
I'll
think
say that the Shamsa is docked on the opposite side of this airlock. So like, there's airlock 1, 2, and there's 4 airlocks. So on the back side of this, there's another airlock, and then on the back side of this is another airlock. So probably
Oh,
there's
so
like
we'd be close to the ship.
yeah, you have to, there's
Shamsa.
probably like some sort of corridor that goes to the other airlock in this section. So, okay.
Well, Dr. Wana would definitely give the command for Nima to back our own ship away,
Okay.
just to a safe distance.
Yeah. Nima, you don't have to make a roll for that.
And because part of it is we're supposed to bring back any living people, correct?
Yeah, if you find living people.
Yeah.
So do you want Nima to shoot a tether across? Or you can attach a tether. You guys can attach a tether.
Yeah, Zebo will get that sorted out before, with the understanding of what the captain was intending to do from our initial plan. I
Yeah,
think Zebo
that's
would
fine.
Yeah.
get busy with that.
Okay. Yeah, there's no
Can we
issue.
see?
You and Nima have done this before on salvage or on operate, extra in space operations. So it's
Yeah.
not an issue
So
to
we've
set up the
almost
tether. Yeah.
We've got a protocol for it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there a way to see into the biodome without actually entering it?
There's so much of this biomatter flowing around in space, you really can't see into it. And the red light casts like strange shadows anyway, as this thing rotates around.
So when
Is
we
there-
scan,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when we did the sensor sweep, and you said there were signs of life in the biodome, is that life in addition to plant life, or is it picking up is it picking up, what sort of life is it picking up? I guess I'm asking.
Yeah. You see if there's anything else.
Would we have like flashlights on our exoskeleton?
Yeah, you have lights.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's dark in here, but you have like your light, coming from the exosuits. The signs were weak
Right.
and based on your in the biodome, so it's kind of hard to tease out
Right.
at this point.
So yeah, we need to investigate that, don't we? So
Well, maybe we should start with heading over here to the lab to see if there's any notes as to what was going on first.
Yep.
Okay.
That seems like a good plan.
Okay. So you were gonna check out the helmet in any case. Dr. Wana had picked it up. So
Yes.
we'll get to that. And it's an old red exo helmet. You can make a science check, Dr. Wana, as you examine it.
She's good at that.
One hopes. Yep. So there's something unusual in the helmet. On the inside, there is a patch of dark biomatter, identical to what's kind of floating around on the station. Although, actually, see if there's anything.
She would point
It looks vaguely plant-like with small purple flowers and air quotes. It's very odd.
She doesn't want to necessarily touch it, but she wants to show it to Zebo and Simo, I guess. And Roya, and say, if you see this, don't touch it. And
Got
show
it.
she'll place it back on the floor further away from them.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah, as you proceed then towards med lab, or towards the lab. Not, we didn't say med. It's not med lab. It's laboratory. The laboratory section.
over here. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, then you see that there's an octagonal. You're passing through an octagonally shaped corridor. It stretches into the darkness. Obviously, you can't smell anything since you have your helmets on, but you hear crunching under your boot, and the ground is covered by dark vines and gnarly weed, and actually, like, it's incredibly blocked. Like, it towards, if you were to continue where the intersection is, to go to the other airlock on the back side of the station, it's completely blocked. Like, you'd have to like cut or burn whatever this stuff is to get to where the Shamsa would be located.
All right.
Hmm.
So
So
this,
the metal walls otherwise the metal walls are painted in a drab gray. The roof contains light strips that are completely dark. And like I said, the floor is covered with this dark, tangled, thick undergrowth of wiry vines. Strange dark leaves cover the floor and grow up into the walls, actually. And the occasional like flower looking thing, like purple flower, is there too. And you see partially hidden within this as you're passing through the corridor. See who has the highest observation in the group.
Juana's got two extra.
Okay, and
Roya has one.
okay, so
I have Zebo's not got any dice.
okay, so Dr. Wana would probably see
And
this. Samuel has one.
Samoya has two.
Okay, so both Samoya and Dr. Wana see a partially hidden in this tangle of vines and branches is a glove that was once part of an exosuit.
Is it wrapped around with vines or is it just free where she can grab it?
It's partially hidden in the vines and stuff, but you could pull it out if you wanted to.
She'll pull it out.
All right. Yeah. Give me an observation roll.
She'll do it very slowly because she's pretty convinced that the vines won't let her take it, but
Okay. Observe it. Yeah.
right, but I'm thinking would Samoya, or however we pronounce his name, would he aid her?
And pulling the thing out. To pull the thing out is easy. I'm just seeing if you see anything weird. No.
No.
All right. So you kind of pull it out pretty easily.
Very slowly.
Almost as if the branches and stuff let you pull back a little bit as they let you. And but you do have this strange sense of being watched.
Do we have cameras or anything in our suits, like in our visors where we can take pictures?
Yeah, you can record. I'm sure you could record stuff. I gotta transfer my darkness points over here.
There was really no need to do that. I don't want to give you any.
All right. You guys haven't given me any, so I can't do anything. All right.
Well,
you haven't had to call to the icons.
Well, Dr. Wana wants to grab it and kind of observe it.
So it definitely was once part of an exosuit, and you see that there's a skeletal remains of a human hand are still inside the glove.
Can I remove one bone and put it in like a pocket or something and then give the glove back to the vines?
Yeah. It's almost as if, like, as you guys see that, almost like it kind of, you put it back and it kind of, the vines move and surround it. It's kind of disturbing.
And well, Dr. Wana will say, thank you for sharing.
Okay.
She's trying to treat it like a person or a patient.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
you take
she's
the
not a
sample of
medical doctor,
you take a
but
sample of a finger, put it in your med kit or your portable lab space.
Yeah.
I would say, let's have everyone make an empathy roll.
Everyone in empathy? Okay.
Yeah. But that was kind of weird.
Do we make it just on
Yeah, just
empathy?
roll your empathy dice, like hit that.
Okay, straight.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And do you wanna, wait? Do you wanna roll for Samoy or how we're pronouncing his name? Cause,
Yeah.
or,
Samia,
or do you want me to? It doesn't matter
I
either.
can roll for Samia.
Okay.
So, Doctor, do you think are you getting a?
That's so fun. Samia is like a little disturbed by this.
It's because I didn't let him bring his paintbrushes. Am I getting a feeling of, I'm sorry?
And Roya,
Are you getting a feeling that this is sort of a parasitic nature to this plant?
Well, seeing as
Hey.
it's all around us, I want to state that I think it could potentially be friendly and she'll be winking at you as if it's not friendly.
yeah. So actually, I would
He
because
gives
you
you a knowing nod of with a considered look in his eye, kind of like he's nodding slowly whilst comprehending what you're saying and mulling it over in an engineering kind of way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Samia is like, did you see that? It moved. It almost like responded to what you said, Doctor. Oh, actually,
did.
I would like Dr. Wanna to give me a manipulation roll, please.
Manipulation.
Mm-hmm. Because you kind of said you were talking to the plant. Okay.
Well,
And
I
I guess
think
you do notice something like because as the I guess down here in this quarter there's no light. Yeah. But I guess Nima, just switching back to Nima for a second, as he's kind of has a tether out there, he's kind of matched the rotation with the station here, and he notices that like because it rotates like every 2 minutes or so, he notices that the growth kind of tends to move towards the sunlight, towards the red sunlight, because it rotates,
Okay.
right? So then part of the
Mhm.
station is facing the sun, and part of the station is in the darkness, right? But like the biomatter gets more concentrated as you move into the red light, which is an interesting observation. I don't think it would freak out Nima so much. He's seen stuff.
You know the damage when we observed the damage on the way in.
Mhm.
Um, do we think that would have caused that presumably would have caused a fairly significant hull breach, would it?
Oh yeah, it looks like it definitely would.
But with the gravity back on and the oxygen stabilized, they must have shut it down and
Yeah, well, there's like blast doors or something, and there's
yeah,
probably like a way to section it off.
yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it'd be prudent for us to go down to engineering and try and get the electricity up and blast doors put in place.
Well, I thought you were going towards the laboratory section.
No, we're good.
Yeah,
Happy to
you're
get to
like
the
somewhere you're somewhere
laboratory.
like in this corridor here. There's
We'll
a
carry
corridor.
on. I think this is a good idea to find these notes because maybe there will be a report of the incident. If it wasn't some kind of instantaneous destruction and these doors, unless they were some kind of automatic response to damage as part of the ship's defenses, which they could easily be, this would have had to have been people taking steps to lock down the damage.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps we can find some reports about this, or maybe this plant life, this our benevolent plant.
I completely agree.
Yes, no, I think this is good. Yes, let's carry on, carry on.
Well, Dr. Wana wants to turn to the plant and say, with your permission, we'd like to proceed. We appreciate your help. And
Okay.
as best as she can, she's going to try not to step on it or injure it.
I mean, there's so much of it. I mean,
I know, but she's
yeah.
she's
So you kind of
trying.
you move along the corridor, and then you kind of eventually work your way. Oops.
Yeah, and Zebo's picking up on this. You know, he's not an idiot, so he sees the doctor and just follows her lead, as it were, and will also attempt to be careful because I think he's a bit of a bigger kind of guy, so he maybe needs to concentrate a bit more on being careful.
Yeah. All right. So I guess Dr. Wana takes the lead, and Warrior's close behind with the Samio just kind of hesitates and holds back. So I guess it's Samio's in the rear unless Zebo pushes them forward. Or
Yeah, I probably will push him for. Come on, Samuel, you don't want to be at the back there. I'll bring out the rear.
okay.
You don't
Yeah,
worry
he
about
does
the
look a little.
violence.
He does look a little like, even though he's the most empathetic, or maybe that's why he actually is a little, disturbed.
I'll
Anyway,
just
so,
pat him on the shoulder, like, God, don't worry, we'll be fine.
all right.
The icons will see to this. We'll be fine.
All right, so you make it to the laboratory section, and there's row upon row of capsules in ceramic glass. They line the walls. Inside them, long dead plants of all kinds. Some of the capsules are broken with dark vines of growth reaching inside like spindly fingers, and this growth is everywhere. It covers the floor, climbs up the walls, hangs down from the roof. And it looks like there is a working terminal, though, that you can see. There's thousands of different species that have been collected here in this lab ships, on this ship stations, investigations and journey, but they're all now dead and mummified in their canisters. And there's a dozen workstations here with these old terminals, right? You're kind of like these like 50, it would be the equivalent like 50 style terminals.
Yeah. So there's literally only evidence of one surviving species, yeah?
Yeah, this growth.
Just this one growth.
Yeah.
Is the terminal on where Dr. Wana can log into it or read
Yeah,
anything?
you do find a successful terminal.
Because she would like to read up a little bit on it. I mean, obviously, it's probably working off of not even a floppy disk, but
Yeah, she's probably gonna have to call up Zebo to check it out. Dr. Wana's a book person. This computer stuff, even an old computer.
yeah, I was just looking to see if I had technology. I do not. I have culture, but that's about
Yeah,
it.
it'd be data gen. Also, everyone can make me an observation roll, and I think that's a general skill, so everyone can attempt the roll.
Okay.
Ooh, 2 is good.
I've just noticed those numbers because my screen's a little bit away from me here.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's not very good contrast between the black and the purple. So it's.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
made it
realise.
white. Yeah, I made it. Mine's like white background instead of black. Yeah, the red and the purple would be kind of hard to see. Okay, let's see here.
Is that better?
Oh,
It's,
I mean,
so it's on my
on his end.
screen.
It's
I'm
on his
sort of
end.
like it's on my end. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see it over there on that. Yeah, where you're sharing your screen. Oh, that's a lot clearer on there.
Okay, so this is the dark mode. This is not on dark mode, I think. Yeah, not on dark mode.
All right. So, Zebo, again, you had that feeling of being watched.
Oh, I didn't do Samoya here. Hang on.
So was that Wana and then Roya, or Roya and then Wana for you?
Wana first.
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
And that's Samaya. So those two, Roya's over there trying to help Samoya get up to the front. So she's not paying a whole lot of attention to the walls.
Right. So even as Zebu's called up to look at the terminal,
Is there anything that any traditional writing material or anything that we
I mean,
or
it's been either absorbed or overrun or destroyed by like any notebooks or anything, there's nothing. It's been like eaten or overrun by this growth.
is there any way that we can communicate like through a closed because we got our helmets on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Can we communicate between ourselves without
Yes. Yeah.
broadcasting out loud kind of
Yes.
thing?
Yes. You can.
Because I just want to like whisper then, effectively whisper to Dr. Warner. I get the distinct feeling I'm being watched. Do you sense that, or am I imagining things?
No, I think you're absolutely correct. I've felt that since we stepped onto this ship, and I think we're being watched by, shall we say, our budding friend.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah,
like to?
I'm coming to that realization. I think yes.
So you thought you saw something that broke the monotony of all this growth, but you're not quite sure, Zebu. Would you like to pray to the icons to see if the gambler gives you guidance?
Um,
You don't have to, just offering that option.
But
when did I?
I've learned in gaming, if a GM asks you, the answer is yes.
Did I? When did I fail? I didn't. I did.
You
I
didn't
didn't fail.
fail. You didn't fail,
Oh,
but you got, a pretty good success.
oh, I see. Um,
Right now I'd say you're in darkness, right? You're not the red light. I mean, there's like, skylights or the equivalent of skylights here. So
I,
you're in darkness and you're
oh,
not on
I
the sun
see.
side.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will investigate that hunch further and
So you can roll 3 more d6. I do get a darkness point though. Just
what was
FYI.
this observation, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you just roll 3d6.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully get sixes on all three.
Well, I got one.
You got
Yay,
one.
got it on one.
You got one. Oh, but easy to do this. There. Oh, so you kind of look further in that direction as you're approaching this terminal, which you haven't done yet. Because you got sort of interrupted by what's that? And you see something. You actually see behind one of those overgrown vats, hiding behind it, attempting to hide behind an overgrown vat, is this. And it's purposefully weird and amorphous looking.
Oh,
Just there observing.
and without being obvious about it, the typical don't look now, but there's an amorphous looking humanoid form lurking over there, Doctor.
I
You
will
may or may not have
definitely.
noticed.
You check out the terminal, and I will very casually work my way that way.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pretend I haven't seen it,
Mm-hmm.
whilst trying to subtly keep an eye on it as I head towards the terminal.
Okay. All right.
Doc-
So the
Dr.
creature.
Wana would like to talk to the vine and say, it's mighty dark in here. Maybe you need some light to grow those beautiful purple flowers I saw. And kind of stroke the vine a little bit as if she was petting a cat, just to see what it does.
So see this creature here. And like I said, you're in the sort of darkness in a way, with just the lights from your helmets panning around, and you're not quite in the right. on the dark side as the rotation goes around, right?
Mhm.
So I guess I need a data digen roll as you examine the terminal that's working.
Do I think I'd be able to get the ship's log from this terminal as well, perhaps?
Oh yeah, that's what you're trying to do. That's
Oh,
what would
I
be
am. All
the
right.
roll.
Okay. Yeah.
I envision it kind of like not Star Trek, but Star Wars where you stick something in there and
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
oh, beautiful. All right. You
yay.
guys haven't really had to call except once to the icons.
Mm, mm.
All right, so we'll get to what you find first, and then we'll get to
That's fine.
Amy interacting with. Oh, as you pass, Dr. Wanda, as you pass towards the vat that where this creature, or where Zebo pointed this creature out, I guess Roya is also probably going to, you know, follow. I don't know, not really follow you, but kind of have, you know, Overwatch just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's depositing some
Samuel's
Moya over there.
Samuel's gonna hang near Zebo
Yeah.
because, like, he just doesn't like. He even says, "I have a bad feeling about this Zebo."
And Roya is gonna kind of come alongside Wana and
Oh, you're gonna go with her? Okay.
well, she's just moving over that way.
Okay.
And
All right.
she'll follow suit and look at the vine and say, yes, those beautiful purple flowers. She's just following suit.
All right. So you get the terminal started and you access it because Zebu's not just a guy with a big hammer, and it's an ancient system, and the data. There's a lot of data here. Right now, it is indecipherable, but it can be downloaded and collected. It's just like older code that's not used
Mhm.
anymore, type
Mhm.
of thing. But you do find a message, and man, I should have made a handout for this message, but bad GM, bad. But I will,
You lose your darkness point for that.
whatever.
You'll have to revoke your gemologist card.
I know.
No, just the darkness point.
All right. Yeah, I'll get this handout real quick for you guys. But yeah, you see a message, or maybe I just read it. You don't really need
Yeah,
a
just
handout.
read it if you like.
Yep. So it's a message. It says to. It's like it looks like a message that you send via through like office office memo. So it looks like a
Mhm.
memo. It says
Mhm.
to the esteemed royal chief scientist Wahina Adata from the Honorable Royal Minister for Agricultural Affairs. The Emir is not pleased with the effort of your team. He asks you to remember that this is a holy mission ordained by the icons themselves, and that the Emir expects to see some real results soon. The future of the people of the Emirate is at stake. If you fail, history will not be kind. May the icons bless your work.
Hmm.
So that's what you find, and a bunch of currently indecipherable data. But like I said, you just need some time and a good, you know, like a good ship's computer.
Well, that's a bit ominous.
Yeah,
Well, that's a bit ominous because then the next thing you know, they've got a hole in their ship.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have just blown them up for failure to carry out their duties in accordance with the standards of the Emirate.
Hmm.
We'd like to think that was not the case.
yeah,
Just out of
Seems
curiosity, if he's uploading it to his suit and I'm assuming our exoskeletons are somehow connected to our own ship, can Nima start downloading the data from his suit to our computers?
yeah. I guess you could send it. Yeah, that's probably works. This is high tech stuff, right?
Because I'm thinking if he does that, then that gives Nima something to do.
to like decode it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could send it to Nima. It doesn't seem. I mean, I mean, he's just tethered off the side, and the station's not that big. But so here's a message. Just FYI, if you wanted to see it, people wanted to see it. So, right.
Yeah,
So,
just the few.
yeah, so
History
you could
will
do
not
that.
be kind. History
Yes.
was not kind.
Hmm.
It was definitely not kind to these poor folk.
No, but I'm wondering if these poor folks turned into the plants, or did the plants just eat them, or did, obviously she's whispering through her suit, or did
Yeah.
Bigfoot over here do something?
Or is he just is he just a sort of unanticipated combination of the two?
Could be.
Yeah, so we're like in this section over here. All right, so Roy and Dr. Wana approaching
Mhm.
this creature or whatever it is.
Would we happen to have canteens of water or anything with us, or is that
You'd
all in
have
our
to,
suits?
you probably get, it's probably like a little like the equivalent of a camelback. You could access water through your suit, that's what I would say, like a spigot or whatever. Not, you know what I mean, like a
A little drinking tube.
little drinking tube, yeah. Um,
Well, I'm just curious. We don't see any water on the ship, so how is this plant growing?
well, it's also growing in the vacuum, just so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
bizarre. And
Yeah.
no moisture at all, right? Near
Oh
zero
yeah,
degrees.
off board, yeah, because
Yeah,
off board it's outside this
it's
ship, isn't it?
outside
I
the ship.
mean, yeah, we've got oxygen and everything in here, but outside, yeah, it's still growing, isn't it? Oh damn.
All right. So as you approach this thing, you're sending that to does Nima have data digen?
Uh, not sure. Hold on.
He does. Oh wow, he's really
Yeah.
good at it. Holy crap. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
really
he
good
has
at
a
it.
3.
Yeah, yeah. He can start trying to go through the data and the logs and stuff and try to decipher it. So you could go ahead and roll now. Well, yeah, you can go ahead and roll and I'll give you the result. It's
I,
just going to take some time.
for some reason, I can't open his character sheet. It's just coming up blank.
Oh, really?
It was all right earlier. It's just
Hmm.
getting white. It's white at the moment. What is that? Let me.
Oh, maybe I had it
Oh,
open.
no, it works if I open it properly. It does.
Okay, I don't
No.
know.
Data gin. That's the same as me.
He's got like a 3 in datagen.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they've both got that right. So I'll make that roll, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and make the roll for him. Oh,
He's still working on it.
Oof.
yeah. I mean, you could pray to the icons if you would like.
He will. He'll sort of like bang the side of the computer. Come on, come on. Icons help me in this. The technology is letting me down again.
Yeah.
Can Zebu help him?
Well,
Because
Zebu would have to go over there and help him. I mean, this is
oh,
happening over some time as Nima's parsing through this data, getting
okay.
it, parsing through it. Probably maybe says, well, anyway, that's happening over time. So let's get back to it. So whenever you want to re-roll that, you can just re-roll. Well, you can re-roll everything. So you can just 1, 2, 3, like 66, I guess. You can just use a die roller or oh, there you go. You got one success. All right.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. It's just going to take some time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm going to use.
I wonder if that's the like the captain's log.
Could be, but if
Yeah.
he's using a dark point, get
No,
prepared for getting attacked.
no, I got another dark point. Anyway, so as you approach this thing, it kind of, when you get close, it,
She wants to do it very nonchalantly, as if she doesn't see him,
mhm.
but she knows he's there. I say he. whatever gender it is.
All right. So it's going to
Right.
it seems like
Right.
it sees you, it's moves, it's startled, and it starts running,
Away from me?
yeah, away from you guys. So I don't know if you could try to block it or corner it or do something. It's up to you.
Well, Dr. Wana wants to call out to it and say, fine, young gentleman or lady, please, I mean no harm to you.
Okay. It takes off. And if you don't stop it, it runs out of the lab.
Well, she'll
And
stop it. She obviously wants to stop it, but
okay, so roll. So how we do initiative here, we roll or actually you can use force. It could be an opposed force check.
I have 0 in force.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it's I mean it's a general skill, so you can,
Roya has 2.
yeah.
So I
Well,
would think
mine's not great either, so or this creature's is not great right now either. So okay. But you can roll.
roll force.
Yeah, roll because you said Dr. Wana was gonna go try to block it. So
Yeah,
we'll do,
that's a failure.
yeah. Huh. Well, I'll say that you cause it to change. I failed too, so you cause it to change direction. Um, so Roya could
Roya could try to
try to
use her
block it. Yeah, try to block it.
force.
All right, so Roya gets in the way of the creature.
She says, hey, we mean you no harm. Perhaps you'd like a lovely glass of water.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking, what would this plant like?
Whatever you drink. Maybe a shot of something. Carrot juice? Oh,
Some liquid fertilizer.
some Roundup?
Oh, that might not go down well, eh?
I don't drink water, although it might help us. Might have found the only use for Roundup.
All right. Well, this is what happens then. I'm going to use a darkness point.
Oh,
It's gonna attack us. Get
Yeah.
ready.
So it Roya interposes herself between it and like the exit,
Mm-hmm.
and you see suddenly like it's the equivalent of its arms kind of move to slap at Roya. So
There's no real dodge in this game, is there?
you can normally you can be defensive, can't you? Can't you kind of?
I think there's like a defensive thing you could do.
Obviously, she doesn't want to strike it quite yet.
Right. Um, right. Right. So it does smack. She does well, unless we can look at what if there's a like a dodge option.
Yeah, well, in other versions of this, and obviously it might not be the same, but I think you're able to use your next action to like take evasive action, so to sort of like use what would be your next action
Yes, you can use a fast reaction
So, like,
to
the only thing I see is melee
to try and
combat,
get more
but
successes. I think you've got to get more successes, haven't you? Do you do opposed?
so you can defend, you can neutralize one of the enemy sixes. Yeah. So basically you can dodge, you can defend, you can use one of your fast actions to defend. So then you roll like an opposed melee combat, and
okay.
you gotta beat it. You're not counterattacking, you're just trying to decrease damage or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like parrying, aren't you? Kind of.
So you got one, not Dr. Wana for Roya.
I did do a wrath.
All right. That is a All right, you neutralize one of the enemy sixes. I only got one. If there are no sixes, so you're able to dodge.
I envision Roya going and then like slapping a high five
All right,
to him.
probably putting up the so like it slaps out at you, and then it all these spores like spray over Roya's helmet from
Oh,
its outstretched hand. So I probably give Roya an empathy check.
Okay.
Wait, let me see. Let me see if there's a skill that's related to something like that.
what, to see if it was like hostile kind of thing?
No, no, no.
Oh,
Like to combat like weird fear, to combat fear and strange
oh,
situations.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's just straight empathy. Yeah, give me an. Oh well, it's gonna stress her out. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Empathy. She's got a low empathy. Right. Oh, you made it. Okay, you're good.
She's seen
Roy's
some
keeps
stuff
her
in the
cool.
war.
Man, this is I know. Well, Roy rolls 2d6 for her empathy, so I guess apparently she can lose it really quickly. But so far, so good. All right.
She just wants to brush that stuff off of her helmet and then
All
and
right.
give it back to the other plant.
All right. So are you going to take any hostile action? Or are you going to let it go? Or it seems like very just scared, disturbed. You like cornered it, so it lashed out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? You still have Royal still has 2 action points. Zebo and Samuel, you guys see this happen.
Zebo looks up from the console. He's go, let it go, let it go. Don't um don't rile it, don't anger it, don't anger it.
Okay. Well, she
Okay.
can talk to it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can talk to it. You could go ahead and say that's free. Talking is free. So like the rounds are like says 10 to 20 seconds. So whatever you can say in 10 to 20 seconds, but it's a free action to talk. But like if
Yeah.
Roya steps aside, it keeps running. But you can say something to it.
Well, she's gonna say, "Hey, I thought we were just getting to know each other. That was a really great high five. Um, I don't know. Or were you asking me to dance?
So give me another manipulation
You
roll.
did think she's good at manipulation.
Well, she is. I mean, you're just talking, right?
Yeah, she has a 0 in manipulation.
Oh,
Nope.
she Dr. Wana has a 0.
No, this is Roya.
Oh, Roya. Oh, I thought Dr. Wana was talking to it. But okay, Roya. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, Dr. Wana can talk to it, but we're
yeah,
not, I mean, Dr. Wana's there, but
yeah. So it runs out of the room, and it looks like it's running towards the biodome.
Roya was just trying to kind of shrug off the attempted violence when
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was, she
yeah.
was kind of
But
play it
if
down.
you don't respond with violence, it runs away
Yeah.
after you kind of move aside, and you get all this like purple stuff all over your helmet now.
well, Roya's gonna take her water and wash her helmet off
All right, just kind of spray some water from the exosuit out or something.
to clean her visor off, and then we can
Oh,
see what happens.
is she gonna take her helmet off?
No,
Okay.
I'm assuming that she can spray it on the outside, right?
Yeah, you could probably have like a water put into probably from your exosuit, put into like a water bottle and then spray it.
I,
You know.
I,
And then we'll see what happens to the things on her.
I'll assist her. I'll try and help because it must be easier for someone else to kind of help you clean your helmet than trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Zebo. You know,
Oh, it's,
All right. Well,
no problem, no problem at all. He's probably got some rag or something in with his
mhm,
stuff.
right.
does
Okay.
anything weird happen when we spray water on it?
No, it just kind of slows off. Nothing really strange happens. It doesn't like grow more or anything.
Okay.
But it is, you just kind of for Roy, it's a little hazy until you like get a good clean on it, to keep that stuff off. Um, but yeah.
I envision a windshield wiper.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've gone for a couple hours, so we're over our due for our break. So let's take a break. I'll pause here
Okay.
and then we'll jump back in and guess we got about another hour and see how things go.
Okie dokie.
All right. So the other thing Dr. Wana notices as that creature runs past and nominally towards the biodome, she notices that there, in some of those vats that the thing was hiding behind, there are corpses in some of the capsules.
Like humans?
They used to be humans. They look like, I mean, you look kind of, you just as you were over there by the vats, and after this excitement passed, you're like, what was it guarding? You have a hunch, but it was near these vats. You see, like, there's three corpses of people in some of these capsules. And there's like this gross stuff all the way around or all over. And you see that they have the uniforms that denote that they're from the Shamsa, or were from the Shamsa.
Just out of curiosity, is there a way to take these vats with us?
You probably could work and detach, because you have Zebu here, pull out some tools and do that. It'd take some time, but you could do it for sure. I think everyone seeing this, realizing this, or seeing this as a revelation should make an empathy check. Attempt an empathy check.
Dr. Wana wants to.
I'll give Dr. Wana's like a scientist, so I would give her a bonus. All right.
So 1.
Yeah, I'll give her a bonus. What is she's a yeah. Oh, you could that I think that with the true secret talent apply. What does a true secret talent do? I can't remember.
I don't know. She has the dancer, which I think if she uses that, it makes it something.
The truth seeker talent was our group talent, weren't it? That allowed us a success on a significant thing once per adventure, or something like that, weren't it?
Was
Yes.
it? Oh, I think it was like you can, if there's a clue that you,
Discover.
discovery or something.
But you want an empathy roll, right?
Yeah, but just because,
I mean, she has a 3. She can try it.
yeah, you get a bonus dice on it.
Okay, so 1.
Oh, find important information or get a clue from the GM without rolling dice. Once per session.
Okay.
Oh, once per session for the whole group, not once per PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll just try empathy. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work,
All right.
but I still have Roya to go.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll for Samuel.
Doctor.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
everyone who fails loses a stress.
Stress. Everyone failed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very disturbing.
Well, a hit point or a mind point?
Stress, mind point, stress. So you can subtract 1 from your. I don't know if it'll show up on the sheet. If you do it on the sheet, I don't know if it'll show up on the. It should.
Well, I just did it on 2 of them. Did it show up?
No.
Yeah, I've put it on mine.
Is it red, green, blue?
It was the blue one. Subtract 1 from the blue.
Did I get it?
No.
No. But you saw me do it, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no. I'll just subtract 1 from everyone.
4. Press enter. I pressed enter. It says 4 there, but it's not showing up there.
Wow. Seba's pretty solid.
Cool.
Yeah.
One
right.
down.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's taking it.
I did it. That's fine. Okay. Right.
And you took it away from Wana already?
Yeah, I took Wana, Roya, and Zebu. I took it away, and Samio loses another one. He's like, because Captain, I think we should get our Captain, I think we should get out of here. I don't like this.
I don't like it either, but do we have a way
They're
to
gonna
freeze
make us like
these?
that.
Yeah, but is
I
there
mean,
a
they're
way to freeze these on our ship if we take them back, or?
Can
Samuel
I?
says just says that I think that's a bad idea, Captain. Go ahead.
Well, she'll do her best to take video of it, and if there's any dog tags or anything she can
Well, it's
find.
just their uniforms. I mean,
My,
I don't
my
want to know if we want to dig them out of there.
Mm-mm.
Zebo's got a bit of a hunch. He's trying to take a kind of rational approach to this, and is there any way he can try and gather him? Because what I don't, I mean, I've got a hunch as a player, and I just want to. I wonder if I can lean on his rational engineering sort of problem solving nature to perhaps invoke a reroll or so.
What do you want to a reroll for empathy?
Yeah, yeah, because if he's failed it and he's starting to get freaked out a little bit by it,
I
I
mean, it's
feel
only
like,
it's 1 out of 8. I mean,
oh right,
so probably a
okay.
little agitated. Samuel is like he's like a quarter now, but so he's a little
So
more.
there's nothing. Okay, so he doesn't need to sort of feign.
No, not yet.
No.
I mean, he's
Well,
probably like a hit of a Rosh right now, but
yeah, which is difficult with a helmet on, I'm guessing.
yeah. But
Um,
but
I,
if
I,
you
I,
feel if you want to role play it that way, then you can make another empathy roll.
that's all right. I wonder if maybe this doesn't seem good, but perhaps we're being hasty. What about if the plant is trying to, in its own way, like heal these people, and it sees that that they've died, and it's trying to, it's trying to help, like it's taking a kind of a, maybe it feels, because I haven't, although I felt like I've been watched, is there really a malevolence to it, or is it just trying to be helpful in its own plant-like kind of way?
I agree. Maybe we should travel down and try and get the lights on so they can better see what's going on.
Well, there's a biodome.
Yeah, there's a
There's also the
biodome.
med lab. 05 is like med lab.
Yeah,
Do we want to go to the med lab?
The creature looked like it was headed toward like up and towards the biodome.
yeah,
If you like look at the directions on the
and that's where we saw some more signs of life. So
yes.
So
perhaps
do
the
we want
bio.
to follow him? Maybe he wants us to follow him.
Well, maybe. I mean, it only acted aggressively because we tried to, we tried to stop it. Perhaps it saw us as a threat, and don't know. Like it seemed to almost be taking a protective stance at these vats.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with going to the biodome if you want to go to the biodome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're happy, Captain, that we're done here, Doctor,
I'm fine with that. And she'll thank the plant for letting us, look around and telling him that we'll follow the orders and head to the biodome.
Okay. Meanwhile, back on the ship. What is it? What is it called? The name of the ship again? I have the ship stuff on both Dr. Amari, the Narzalis, on Dr. Amarita and on Dr. Wana and on Nima. I have the ship
The
information.
Narzalis.
And then, meanwhile, back on the Narzalis, Nima is parsing through that information, and he's finally getting some progress. So he's found out the following as he's looking through the logs and the provenance of this station, this Royal Research Station. This is more than 100 years ago on the scorched, dusty plains of Dabaran. There lived a mighty emir in the city of Yehenna. I mean, it says more than this, but this is like the gist of it, right? So the emir was concerned for his land and his people, and the crops were failing and the food was scarce. While the other cities worked on new technologies to fertilize the burning lands, the Emir of Gehenna turned to his library. He found a text by the famous scholar Suleiman that mentioned a blessed flower with the power of the icons, said to bring prosperity to the most desolate of lands. And the Emir set out to find this flower and sent explorers all across the Dabarani system. And then, so this is it's going to take a while to get through this stuff, of course, but that's what Nima has discovered so far, like the origin of this space station and why it was, or this laboratory station, and why it was set up in the first place. So he's like reading the history, of like what's going on. It's like logs and history and data and stuff like that.
And I suppose Zeb would be the first to see that and be
Nima's sending this to you guys as you guys are walking, because it's slow process going.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, you're walking towards the biodome, but then suddenly Nima hears a clang against the Narzalis.
Oh, like a vine has reached out and
or something heavy has hit the relatively heavy, other than like plant dust floating around, has hit the Narzalis.
Just out of curiosity, before you do that, when we walk past the corpses, do they look like just bone, or do they look like they're frozen?
No, they look dead, like dead people, and the vines are like intertwined within them. And it was around the airlock, by the way, Nemo.
Can he see anything?
Yeah, you can attempt an observation check to you're looking through the camera and the defense. You go to or pull up your defensive station. You do have countermeasures on this ship too, just FYI.
All right.
If need be. So you can make an observation check as you're like looking through the video feed.
Oh, he's not very good at that. Okay.
Not so good. Well, I guess he could use data. He could use data digen instead, right? Because it's computer stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah, it's
like sensor. It's like sensor stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Would you like to?
Yeah, he will invoke the icons. Come on, don't fail me now. What is it today with the technology? Why? Why the icons? Oh, I'm sure I can do better than this.
Yeah. Just as an aside, like when I ran this last time, characters were so reluctant to pray to the icons because they didn't want to accumulate darkness points. But I think that's part of the fun, and you want to succeed.
Oh, yeah.
It increases your chances of success. But
for sure. So how many is it all my dice again?
You roll, you didn't get any sixes, so you can roll all your
If you get ones, you can't roll them either, can you?
No, you can. It's only sixes. Yeah, it's only sixes because ones don't matter because you get the darkness points are the thing.
Yeah, so it's 66 again.
66, yeah.
We seem to do better when we're not rolling off the character sheet.
Oh, there you go. All right. There's someone out there.
Like a human or a plant?
Yeah, you see someone like trying to fiddle with the airlock.
Like plant man sort of thing.
No, like a dude in an exosuit.
He radios to the group. Guys, can you see? There's someone on the outside of the ship. Can you take a look? Can you see from where you are?
No, they can't. They're
where
pretty
are you?
far.
Where are you? Yeah, we've got an intruder trying to gain entry to the ship.
Dr. Juana will radio back and say, do you feel comfortable subduing the subject and keeping him in the brig till we get back?
Not really. I've got to say, Doctor. I mean, I've got my hands full with the ship here. What about Zeb? Will Zeb have a look? What's Zeb doing? Zeb. And I guess Zeb would pick up on it and say, Doctor, I can take a walk back to the thing and see what I can see, and
Okay, well, we'll hold here for right now.
And not continue to the dome.
Just hold.
Okay. So Zebo, just give me like a agility, just to see how long it might take you.
yeah, okay.
Success means you move there quickly. Failure means, yeah. It's not like you fail and fall flat on your face, but you're like delayed, get lost, whatever.
So there's not a move roll. There's
I think
not a
it's
move.
agility.
I
No,
see,
no,
just
it's
start on agility.
it's not agility. Dexterity. Dexterity.
Oh, dexterity.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, he's rubbish at that anyway. So he's not rubbish at it, but it's just he hasn't got the skill.
Yeah. It's a general. So I like that general and advanced skills. That's pretty good idea.
Oh crap!
Oh, you got dropped.
Shut my tab. Shut my tab by accident. God damn it! In the excitement. Oh.
All right, so this guy,
Struggling with too
Nima. So
many
this
things.
person out there, they're dressed sort of similar to how Roya kits himself out. They have some sort of carbine, and they're wearing a sword on their back, which is
Oh man,
bizarro.
that don't look good.
And they have a big like a backpack as well, with their their exo shell is more like Roya's, which is like an armored exo shell.
That person sounds a bit too competent to be trying to gain entry to our ship.
Yeah, and then they're trying to manually get through the airlock.
Can we communicate with them?
Not yet.
Well, do you want Dr. Juana and Roya
But
and
that person, I
Guardian?
mean, that person's not having a. Well, I guess maybe the good thing for Nima, from Nima's point of view, as he's watching this person, the person's not very adept at tech stuff because they don't seem to be able to like figure out how to manually work the airlock,
Oh, good.
or at least your the
Do we
precautions
have,
you have in place are.
Yeah.
do we have any ship defenses that could deal with someone on the outside of the hull?
You have something called countermeasures. I got to see what those are.
Oh, okay. So what did I roll? Well,
Failed.
I'm struggling to get through these vines clearly, and
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna use the darkness point. So like as you're moving through there, you feel like one of the vines reaches out and grabs at you.
I probably
So
stood on
give
it
me a
clumsily.
force attempt. If you could attempt a force roll.
Ah. Pause.
Yeah, hard. So minus subtract one dice too.
Okay. So did you type in just -1, yeah?
Yeah. I think. Oh, nice. Yeah. So when you suddenly get stuck, but you're able to like, push yourself through the dust of the branches and the flowers
Yeah,
float around
I
you.
refused to accept that it was trying to grab at me. I just put that out of my mind. That's just it's just the darkness playing tricks on me.
Okay. All right. So okay. So
Can Dr. Juana talk to the plant while Zebo's doing that?
yeah, you can try. You could do that.
Because she's gonna say, I know this is a strange question and I don't know how you're gonna answer me, but I think someone's trying to break into our ship over there. Any suggestions as to how we can resolve this where no one gets hurt? Because it seems like you're trying to help our friends in the vats. I think you're good people or good.
Give me a manipulation check. And Royas does say, Dr. Juana, should I go with Zebu or stay here?
Life and stuff to desolate areas. So it probably views this ship as a desolate area with everything dead, and it's trying to bring it back to life. I would think, judging from that text.
Yeah. So I want a manipulation. roll for
Okay.
Dr. Wana. And then do you want Roya to stay or go? I guess that's the other thing.
She would probably send Roya with.
Okay.
So you want manipulation?
Yeah, manipulation for Wana and Roya. I'll roll while you do that. I'll look for her
Oops.
agility.
She didn't make it. And Roya agility?
Her dexterity.
Dex?
Yeah. I can do it, but you can do it. Roll her dexterity. It's a skill.
She's better at the other. Nope, everybody's failing today.
You want to use she got 6 dice for the dex. You can call to the
Yeah, and she didn't get any success.
I know. Do you wanna call to the icons?
For
Either.
Dr. Wana,
Yeah, or either.
and she would be manipulation.
Yeah, if you wanted to pray to the icons, I guess what would you say though? So you're the dancer.
2, 4, 5. She would say, I truly believe that this plant is trying to aid us, and I need your help in communicating. Maybe it doesn't understand me. Please help. And she'll do a quick pirouette,
Mhm.
and it doesn't
Mhm.
work.
What an anticlimax.
Yeah.
Totally
Uh-huh.
anticlimax.
All right. And Roya, do you want to pray to the icons as she kind of
Did I roll 6? No, I only rolled 5, and I'm supposed to roll 6, or how many?
for Wana or for
For either one.
what's
2, 4,
Wana's
5. 5 for Roya. 2, 4, 5. I guess it's 5 and 5.
No, it's 6 for Roya.
6 for Roya, then.
Okay. Are you gonna do that too?
Yeah, you seem to want me to.
You don't have to. Jeez. All right. So Roya gets delayed, and Dr. Wana, it just seems
And I feel like the
no one's
tables have
listening.
turned. The tide's turned now.
Yeah.
It doesn't like us. But
Right.
Dr. Wana has this idea that maybe since the station keeps moving to the light, if we could move the spaceship, tow it to where it's just in the light, or maybe even, I hate to say
Yeah.
it, but land the ship on a planet that's in the light.
Well, if we got the power on, maybe it would like stabilize the ship and stop it spinning, and then the plant would just get the light.
Well, then there would be no
wanted,
there'd be no gravity then if you stop. Right.
Okay. Oh, that's what's doing the gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have gravity in our suits?
No, I mean there's gravity on the ship. You have
Hmm.
like artificial gravity because of the graviton projectors on your ship. And you probably have like the equivalent of like magnetic boots, if you're in if you're in 0G op.
So then if we lost gravity in this
You could
space
still
station.
you could still clink to the floor or whatever. Okay, let's see.
I don't know. I think our viewers need to leave a comment and tell
I
us what they
guess.
would do.
All right. Whoever this person is, they're like desperate and they pull out their sword, by the way.
What?
And they're going to try to slice through the airlock.
Did you get any further with those countermeasures, Carl?
Oh, countermeasures. Yeah. Let me look that up first.
Well, Dr. Wana is going to come over the comms to Nima and say, do whatever is necessary.
Yeah, it's reasonable force, yeah? It's reasonable force.
Reasonable force, yes. I mean, if you don't feel like you can get him to the brig, I mean, Zimu and Roya are on their way. But if this continues, it's not like in Star Trek where we can put a tractor beam on him and hold him.
I mean, I could just do it the old-fashioned way and fire up the engines and
Pull
put the
away.
boot down and knock him off.
But maybe he really needs help. I don't know.
Well,
I'm so
true.
conflicted.
I'm just feeling a little bit jumpy.
I understand. I tried talking to the plant and I'm a little out of sorts too.
Okay, you have something to launch. Countermeasures.
Do we have like a smoke bomb or something?
So what do countermeasures do? So yeah, you guys have countermeasures. I'm trying to see what they do.
Well, I'm assuming it would
Hanger.
blow up a missile that was coming at us.
Yeah, well, that's normally what I would think it would do, but it could have like close in,
like an electrified hull or something like that.
or like guns that pop out to shoot at potential.
Yeah, assailants.
Turn the force field on. I don't know.
This is countermeasure dispenser. You also have a accelerator cannon.
That's a bit forceful.
Okay. Really need to get eyes on this guy, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I know what I could do.
What's that?
Could go down to the airlock. The airlock will have windows in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And when they try and come in through the airlock, at least I'll get a look at them, and then it's going to take them time to get through the second lot of airlock doors.
Yeah.
But then what do I do? True. I was going to say I flush the airlock, but they're in a suit, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you could blow them out. Right? Ship
Yeah.
equipped with an autocannon or countermeasure can fire defensive fire incoming torpedo. So I would say that you could probably activate the countermeasures and shoot them off the hull. It sounds like countermeasures are like,
Well, if you do that,
guns
if you
that
go
shoot
down to the
like little,
window,
like in Expanse, like those like little two railgun stuff. Like the accelerator cannon is a rail gun, but the countermeasures are probably like mini guns around the hull to prevent like boarding actions and stuff like that, and to take out incoming torpedoes. So you could try to do that.
well, if you go down to the window, maybe you can ask him what his purpose is.
Oh, yeah, you could maybe do that too. It's up to you. What do you want to do?
And ask him to step away from there, or at least tell you what he's after. Because maybe he thinks it's an uninhabited ship.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't do what he's told, then I'll have to assume that he's being a
you can you probably have like, I would probably feel like you have like, hand computers or whatever, and you can slave the ship systems to that if you needed to. I mean, it's not advanced society. That seems kind of reasonable.
Okay.
So all right,
and hopefully by that time Zebo and Roya can get there.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to go down
Zebu's close now because he kind of, Roya kind of got lost and caught up somewhere or took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. So
there's maybe plant fiber still on her light.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She kind of, because her faceplate's still kind of grimy. So she got turned around and is a little delayed. So let me roll. This guy's still gonna, by the time you get down there, this guy's gonna have at least one stab at the
Zebo's not into this idea of this guy messing with the ship.
Yeah. So
he's starting to get a little bit riled up now.
Okay. So this guy is going to, he pulls out a sword. It's a Mercurium sword.
And everybody's buddies with Zebo, aren't they? Oh
and
no, samurai.
3.
Oh, Samuel is like a second brother to
Yeah.
Zebo, apparently.
Yeah. 3, but no crit.
He's only successful once. He only got 1 6.
Yeah, I know, but that's 3 damage on the sword.
3 damage to his sword or to
No,
our
3 damage to the, I don't know.
Is he trying to pry it open?
No, he's like trying to put a hole in it.
Hmm.
Oh, damn.
Well, I guess you have to launch the countermeasure. Or if Zebo gets close enough, Roya can shoot at him if she gets close enough.
Yeah. See what this sword does.
And I'm imagining
So their
Neva.
advanced technology with liquid metal in the hilt are activated and form a blade, which then turns solid. Right.
Dang.
So let's say, so roll me 10d6, I would say. I'm just gonna
10d6.
Get all ones.
no, you want need at least 2 6s, or actually
Oh,
one.
okay,
You
this
just need
is the
1
ship?
6. Yeah, this is the ship, like the armor on the ship.
Oh.
Not 60-10.
Oh, is it? Oh, crap.
It's like the 10s count. 10
Oh, wait.
7s. Hey, you got one.
Oh yeah, you got one. Yeah. All right. So he's ineffective in penetrating the whole armor. I'm assuming like, one whole armor is like 10 equals 10 regular armor, you know.
I wonder if I could. The other thing I could have tried a firing a warning shot.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, could I do that with my this link with the handheld link as I'm on my way down to the?
Yeah, you could do that. I'm trying to think how we
Is it
could.
like Alexa? I could talk to the ship and say, fire a warning shot at the intruder.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
At a sword?
No, what I'll do is yeah. So we'll see if he keeps his cool here or stops. I don't know. Maybe he didn't even know there was in there. Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
he like looks up, gives you some sort of rude gesture. I took 2 dice off of his roll too. I took 2 dice off his roll. He gives you some sort of, rude gesture and is gonna go at it again.
Wow, this Yahoo's asking for trouble, man.
Yeah, so see who goes first, roll a d6. It's like this initiative. Oh, you can go, you can shoot him again before he goes.
Wow, rude. I'm just gonna blast this fool.
Okay.
Give me the rude gesture. Shot across a warning shot across the bows. This guy's up to no good. And I'm a fighter pilot. I think I've just lost my cool.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look at the ship and see what we're doing here. So fire the countermeasures. It's +2 bonus.
And I'll be
So
like,
you can use
Zebo, I can't wait any longer. I'm shooting this fool off our ship.
All right, so you can use a ranged attack. You get a +2 dice. And I'm gonna see what they
Dr.
do.
Wana will come over the comms and say, Nima, I completely trust your judgment in this situation. You are my number one when we're away from the ship.
Hopefully you won't live to regret that. Man, this fool, I'm gonna shoot him.
Well,
He's
you
trying to
said he
break
made
through
a
the
foul
door.
gesture, and we, if I was there, I would slap him across the face for you for being rude to my friend.
This is probably why he got chucked out of the flyers.
Yeah.
So what am I rolling? Sorry, Carl.
You can roll ranged, then you get a +2 because of the weapon system. For the
Yeah.
He's successful.
What happened there? Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
one success.
Cool.
Yep. Okay. All right. I know this guy to see something about starship weapons between. So there it is. Okay. All right. Defensive fire. All right. So it's one success. So I'm gonna say so roll. Oh, you don't have to roll anything. This is damage. I know what I'm gonna do. All right. So you fire at him. I'm gonna roll for his armor to see if it absorbs anything. It's reduced by 2. Oh wow. Man. Okay.
He is holding on for dear life. What is his problem?
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't hit him directly. You like fire around him, and there's like, fragments. It kind of he gets hit by like the yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is he still making rude gestures, or is he giving up with that?
No, I think he's still gonna be. He takes off 2 damage, but the damage for your heavy weapon is still gonna be significant. I just gotta find out where it is there. All right.
While you're looking that up, Dr. Wana will call back over to Nima and say, everything okay over there still? Zebo and Rua are on their way. Raya.
Oh, good. Sooner they get in, the better. It's a little bit tense. I've opened fire on the assailant, but he's still
Okay.
hanging on. He's trying to break through the hull.
Oh, I guess I should put him up on here. Yeah. So you
Well,
did shoot him.
But I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with it.
all right. Well, remain calm. All will
Yeah.
be okay.
Okay.
Just do what you need to do, and if you need to do that exciting Top Gun roll that you've been practicing with the ship, I'm okay with that too.
Okay. I'm gonna roll
Good,
this guy's.
Good to know.
Since you warned him last time.
Yeah.
This time you actually hit him. The guy did take damage, and you see like their thing is venting. So he puts his hands up. I guess he puts his sword back, and he puts his hands up, and he's like venting like oxygen because he has a whole breach now.
All right.
And he kind of looks at towards, I don't know. He doesn't know where the camera is, but he looks around.
All right.
And you see it's actually in the faceplate. You see it's actually a female. She looks and like with fear, right? Because now that she's venting,
yeah,
venting oxygen from her suit.
All right. I'll open the outer door to the hull. Right. And see if they pull themselves into the airlock.
Yeah, they pull themselves in, and
And
I guess they're gonna try to patch. Are there patches? There probably are patches. Their wits isn't great, and they're panicked. They're trying to patch up the suit, and it's not working. But you can you can let them sit in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them sit in there and
They've
say,
definitely been hit, and you see like there's like some blood splatter kind of, as she comes in, like there's some blood droplets, kind of coming out, and she's
Doctor, the assailant's a woman. I'd say I'd just estimate whatever I thought her age was.
Mhm.
Middle-aged female. She's bleeding, but I've got her trapped in the airlock currently. Away in a distance.
Okay, where
So-
where is her weapon?
She's sheathed the weapon. She's looking a lot less aggressive now. I believe she's injured. I've seen some signs of blood, and she's ruptured. I've ruptured her suit with the fire, and yeah, I'm headed down to.
She looks pretty like stressed out too. By now, if you can tell, Zeb reaches like the door, but of course, like
get eyes on her.
you're tethered,
Get a
Okay.
visual.
tethered.
Get a
Yeah.
visual.
Under any circumstances.
Yep. Affirmative. Zeb, where are you, Zeb?
So Zeb, so like because remember you detach yourself from the airlock, so like there's a tether, so there's a tether between, so you have to cycle out the airlock of the station, and then cross on the tether to get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of remember you're tethered now. You're not
Yeah.
attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roya's
so-
scrambling right behind.
Yeah, and Roya's shortly behind there. So by the time you open the airlock and get in there, Roy will be there as well.
Okay.
So, all right. Anything? Are Wana and Samio going to do anything, or they're just kind of, I
Well,
guess
we're-
Dr.
we're-
Wana can be thinking about a solution on how to move these corpses if she wanted to.
Well, she wants to ask the plants what they would like her to do, if there's a way they can communicate. And she's gonna say, there's that machine over there. So if you can use your pedals, she'll explain how typing works and if they can maybe communicate, like say, press the number 1 or press a key for yes and press a key twice for a no.
All right. That's pretty cool.
All right. I'm going to do a couple things because we got 10 minutes here on our time. But I'm going to do a couple things and leave with maybe a couple cliffhangers. We will see. It looks like, so Roya and Zebo, you can cross over if you want to. You're both in the station airlock,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
this combatant is like just sitting in the in your airlock, Nima.
Yeah.
Put the sword down and toss her carbine aside. Her carbine, it's a thermal carbine, by the way. It's a pretty well armed she is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And she you can make a observation check as well.
Yeah. Observation is there.
Give yourself a +2 bonus.
Okay.
You have a military background.
Okay.
Right. So the backpack that she has, it looks like actually what looks to you like satchel charges.
Dang.
All right.
Is it shut? Is it all shut up, that satchel?
No. It's not shut up.
Okay.
But it's definitely like demolition charges. All right.
Dang.
All right. So Zebu and Roy are in the airlock. So Dr. Wana, as you
Yes.
kind of talk again to the plant, suddenly the station's century-old speakers suddenly crackle to life. You hear a female voice across the station. So Zebu and Roya hear this as well. I guess from in the airlock, there's probably like a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it say? It kind of, the beginning, like the prelude, is almost exactly what Nima was reading
Yeah.
before, and then um, after that it says, uh, the emir was a wise and cautious man. The old text mentioned dark flower, specimens of the fabled plant, tainted by the dark between the stars. He, he built us a space station on the far edges of the system, where the explorers deposited their findings. The station was the core of the project to find the flower of heaven. Hundreds of us Dabarani scientists toiled through the years in an effort to find the sought-after prize. I led it. I am Chief Scientist Wahina. I'm a passionate scholar. I was a professor from the University of Dada. One day, an explorer returned with a strange story. He had found a beautiful and slender flower in the depths of the gas mines of Salamanx, which is a gas giant in the system. The scientists knew that no known plant could possibly survive such harsh conditions. Could this be it? But before we had our answer, disaster struck. These were the last days of the Portal Wars, and the Dabarani people had been spared most of the violence, but we were not so lucky. A rogue fleet from the First Horizon engaged a flotilla of our vessels in the blackness of space. In the confusion, a stray torpedo hit us, knocking us out of its stabilizers and life support. Many of our staff died instantly, but myself and my 3 assistants, we managed to survive. We drifted off course, unable to contact anyone or bring the thrusters to bear. I guess it was reported that we were lost with all hands. But I have endured. I have continued our work. I found that the plant from the depths of Salamanx did indeed have special powers. It could sustain life in the most hostile environments. While our supplies dwindled, I realized that salvation could only be found within the plant itself. I started to inject the plant's biomatter into myself and my assistants. Well, at first there was no effect, but just when we were about to lose all hope, we began to change. I have to continue my project, you who have come to visit me on my station. You must let me continue my project. We will take this project to Dabaran as the Emir intended. It seems that the portal wars still exist, and you have sent someone to try to disrupt us. I hope that you are not these same people that have tried to stop us. Do not follow the example of the murderous crew of the other ship. If you do, I will kill you. Nothing is more important than my work. And with that ominous warning, I think we will stop for today.
Da, da, da.
Ooh.
Wow.
So there should be many plant people up there.
Perhaps.
Or a free closest
Yeah. And yeah.
researchers. Wow.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for playing today, Coriolis. I hope it was a fun taste.
Yeah.
I've accumulated some darkness points that I will carry over
You don't have to.
into the next session if we're able to get together, which would be pretty cool to finish this up. It definitely we could finish this up. We're like into Act 3 now, you know. Things are happening. We're into Act 3. We could definitely finish this up in one more session. There's some wonderful complications with whoever this combatant is that Nima has captured in the airlock, and now you have this strange entity who's calling over the ship or the station speakers named Wahina.
Oh.
But maybe she's also or once was a scientist, and Dr. Wana can talk to her because you haven't really been hostile. So
No.
so far
Try
so
not
good.
to be.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys for playing. Any
Awesome.
comments or questions?
No, I'm just saying you don't need to keep the darkness points if you don't want to. Like Benny's, they can go away at the end of the session.
Yeah, Colin.
No, I like it. I like it. I like the I can't even say it. Investigative.
Investigative.
And who knew? Who knew
Who
that
knew?
that was another word that I couldn't say?
Yeah.
Wow. I like to do some investigation in this.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And yeah, I like this system. And it's a little bit more forgiving as well.
Oh, you think
Uh,
so? Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit more forgiving than maybe it's just the luck of the dice. Maybe it's just the luck of the
Or an
dice.
unluck.
But
Like if you had gotten
But
another success, for example, on that shot then I would have had a roll on the critical, for example, right?
yeah, and in other, like I said, in other Year Zero engine games, my stats would have been looking a little bit worn now at this
Oh,
point.
okay. Yeah.
Mind you, I probably might have had time to recover and do a little bit of healing here and there and got them back a little. But
Yeah.
no, it's interesting. I do like to explore these free league games, and because I like that sense of some familiarity of the system,
Right.
yet with enough different bits and bobs to make it not monotonous. You know, so
Yeah.
each time you're building on knowledge you've built from one system, and when it's not totally new every time you play it, a different version of it.
Mhm.
It's interesting, and yeah, I like that. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah. I think from my point of view, I got to use some darkness points because you guys reached out to the icons. I think I do like again, I think there's some things that narratively because of what you have done that I just had happen without using darkness points
Mm,
because it just works through the narrative. Say,
yeah.
for example, when Amy is trying to, you guys are not being hostile, you're being a diplomatic as best you can in a very strange situation. You haven't freaked out. You haven't started shooting at what you've seen.
Mm,
And I've had, Amy roll for Dr. Wana some rolls, and those accumulated enough that you were contacted, or the role playing suggested that Wahina would contact you. And then
mm,
with the other thing, I just said, well, what is this NPC gonna do when all of a sudden there's a ship that's docked,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
took a risk. Like basically the NPC jumped from this airlock across space to collide to hit the ship,
mm,
so kind of did a leap of faith in a way, and
mm.
I made it. So if not,
Wow.
Nima would have seen someone floating by, like
Oh goodness.
I think that would have freaked you out more.
that might
Yeah,
have
I
freaked
mean,
you out more. But anyway, it's a cool resolution to that situation, defending your ship and in your own best piloty way. So I thought that was good.
yeah, because I don't think anybody was really. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I don't think. I certainly didn't. I didn't think that we would have someone trying to get on board our other ship.
Yeah,
So that was a good move, wasn't it, to do that tether and just stay a little bit further away.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That was
I was more concerned about the ship getting taken over by plants.
Well,
That's the first one.
exactly. But it was sort of a happy accident. It's worked out to our advantage in another way as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So now
it
you can
sort of
decide.
really slowed that person down.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So you can decide what Roya and Zebu are going to do about that situation. At least you
Yeah.
have them covered. And then I don't know if Dr. Wana and Samuel are going to continue to the biodome and find out who this mysterious Wahina is.
No,
All
that's
right.
good. Well, we'll definitely conclude it, and I'll get back to you with some dates, and
Yeah.
then folks will see the conclusion as well. We
Yeah.
don't want to leave it unfinished.
Right.
Absolutely. They're going to have to make sure that they subscribe and turn their notifications on so they don't miss the conclusion.
Of dark flowers.
Exactly.
All right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, good night and good rolling.